Ryan here with Dark Rangers Inc. and we're going to do another processing tutorial that you guys voted on. In the last one we did the ASCAR Color Magic set, and I had a goal of trying to replicate the North American nebula that I'd done with my monochrome camera, and so I came up with a pretty simplistic way of combining the channels and getting a good result. This time we're going to be using the Antlia HA03 S2H beta set, and we're going to be using their recommended combination method, and I think it actually does give even closer to a traditional SHO combination method, although it is a little bit more complicated. But I think if you guys stay tuned and follow along, you'll be able to get through it. And I also just wanted to take a moment to quickly say thank you for all the support and love on the Antlia quad band review. As you guys know, I will never recommend a product unless I wouldn't personally own it, so I am going to purchase that from Agena, and a lot of you guys did as well using the link within the channel, so they were very happy with the response as well, and that will guarantee that I'm able to do more review videos in the future for you guys. So thank you so much for that. This video is really going to focus on the combination portion, and then if you want to see how to go all the way through to the end, I would check out one of my earlier videos, and I'm going to come out with the Dark Rangers Inc. first full-length tutorial video. It's going to be on Photoshop, taking you from start to finish. So if you're maybe not all the way needing a one-on-one lesson, but you need a little bit more help than a typical YouTube video, this will allow you to take an image from start to finish in Photoshop, even as a total beginner, and get a much better result than you've been getting with just PixelMath alone. So look out for that. And without further ado, let's dive right into PixelMath. All right, here we are in PixelMath. I have already done this edit and screen recorded it, so we're going to do a voiceover and just go through it. On the left, as you can see, we have the S2H beta, and on the right, we have the hydrogen alpha oxygen 3 filter of the Sol Nebula. We've already done a star alignment, dynamic crop, and run Graxpert, and as you can see, the data looks pretty good. This was supplied to us by Jonathan H., one of our Patreon community members. So Jonathan, thanks for getting this out. It's great, and it allows me to do more videos in a shorter amount of time because I don't have to go out and grab all this wonderful data. So right now, I did elect to clean up both of these images a little bit first before we do the channel extraction. That way we're not, carrying along the issues that we don't want. So we're running Blur Exterminator. I'll go ahead and speed through because we're going to run Blur Exterminator on both, and then we are going to run Noise Exterminator on both. And then the next thing we're going to do after that is go ahead and break down each channel. So I'll overlay our roadmap here that I created. You guys can just screenshot this, or I can maybe try to add it to the share drive. But essentially what we're doing is we're taking the red channel from the HO filter and the red channel from the SHB, and we're making the red channel from the HO the hydrogen alpha channel, and the red channel from the SHB filter our sulfur 2 channel. So those two are really easy. And then we're going to take the green and the blue filter, or the green and blue channel from each filter, and we're going to add all 4 of them up and divide them by 4 to give us our synthetic oxygen 3. Oxygen is usually the weakest channel anyway, so that'll help strengthen it up. So as you can see, we're going to go in here, we're going to hit this button up here, which will break it down into the individual channels. And then I'm going to set aside the color version for now. I accidentally named it HA. This filter, the red channel, was supposed to be S2. And then we just set aside the green and blue for now. And then we do the same thing. You can see I hit that button. And then this is where I realized that the red channel should have been the sulfur on the other one. So I go through and correct that really quick. So now everything is correct. I have the 2 green and 2 blue channels here, and then we have our S2 at the upper left and the HA. And so we're going to go into PixelMath, and we're going to stay in the RGBK mode, and I'm just going to go through, add them all up, use a parentheses, and divide by 4. Because of the order of operations, you do want to do the parentheses around it. And then we're going to go down and create a new image, and we're actually going to keep it in grayscale. So you can see I'm naming it 03. We want to keep it in grayscale, and you need to open up one of the 4 images and then drag and drop the triangle. We can't do the global application. So now this is going to be our 03, and then we'll open up our S2, and then that's our HA. And as you can see, when we go ahead and tile them out, this does represent what monochrome HA, S2, and O3 data would look like. So right now, because you can see the HA signal is so much stronger, and we don't want that bright green blob when we actually do the combination, I'm going to run linear fit, and we're going to base it off of the O3. So I grab this little tab here, and I drag it into the linear fit process. So go to process, all process, linear fit. We're going to drag that in, and then I'm just dragging the triangle to the HA and the S2. And what that's going to do is that's going to drop the strength down. So you can see the HA now is much softer. It's going to kind of match the energy of the O3. This way, when we combine them, the HA won't completely overpower S2 and O3 like it tends to do. So you can see this is what they look like now that we've run linear fit. And we'll just do our typical channel combination next. And we got the HA in green, the S2 in red, and the O3 in blue. So we have our SHO. And now you can see, because we did the linear fit, the colors are already looking really nice and balanced. And so the only issue that we have really is the fact that the stars have this really bad magenta. So I'm looking at it linked versus unlinked just to kind of see. And it's really nice that with a linked stretch, because of running linear fit, it already looks very nice, like like we've already done some work. But you can see these stars are pretty problematic. So I'm grabbing an area of background because we're going to run SPCC to fix the stars. And then next we have to go to image and do image solver. The asymmetric solution did come through because we did channel combination instead of PixelMath to do the SHO combination. The only thing we had to do is go ahead and re-put the data in, and then we just hit OK. I'm going to speed through that running. Once we have our image analysis done, then we can run our SPCC, but you need to pay attention here because we do go into narrowband filters mode. And then if you pull up the table, we want to manually plug it in. Right now it's set up for HOOs. The 656, that's the default, is your hydrogen alpha wavelength. We actually want to change that because we know the red in SHO is S, which is sulfur 2. So we need to change that from 656 into, I believe, 672. Is what it's going to be, 0.4. And then these are 5 nanometer band passes. For oxygen 3, what I do is I take the H beta and add it with the oxygen 3 and divide them by 2. And when you take those two numbers and you divide them, the average of the two is 494. And then because it's 2 5 nanometer band passes, instead of sticking with 5, I'm going to double it and do 10. So this actually does a really nice job. I'm going to drag the preview over to the region of interest, which represents our background, and then apply it. And you'll see that doing it this way, we really get a nice job. All of that purple fringing kind of goes away, and we end up with really nice bright white stars. So I'm going to go through that so you can see. We've got the green blob situation back, but we've got our nice white stars. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to undo it. I'm dragging over a clone. So I undid it, dragged a clone over. I'm going to steal the stars off of this. We're going to use these nice white stars off the green one. But because this coloration looks really nice because of linear fit, I don't want to work with this, green issue here, and it's going to be just a lot more problematic. This is closer to the look that we're going to go for. So I'm going to do star exterminator on both. Just go ahead and grab the stars off here and then just delete the stars off there because we don't want these purple magenta looking stars. So we've got the good stars saved down here in this image 15 clone, because this is the image 15 clone stars right there. And then we just threw out the magenta stars that we don't want. I did keep this around because I was thinking about maybe trying to work with it. As you can see, when we do a non-link stretch, it does balance it out a little bit. But I ended up just running GHS on the left image, which is the one that we did linear fit on. And you'll see it does a really nice job. So I do a couple RGB stretches like I normally do, and then I go through and start picking out each color individually. I think I did 3 or 4 RGB stretches. Now I'm hitting red up. I didn't really have a specific goal for the look of this in mind. I wanted that nice strong reddish orange on the outside, and then with a nice cool blue, and get some of the nice greens here where they meet. I just really wanted the whole range of colors. So from purplish in here, fading to blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And you'll see when we get to the end, we were able to achieve that. Even after just a few passes of GHS, we've gotten a really nice result. So I did take a couple swings at this and realized I'm going to be spending a lot of time trying to finagle it. So I ended up just tossing it. I even tried running normalization and didn't like it. And so I said, we're going to go with this. So now we do curves. I do a little bit of a saturation and play with the hues a little bit. This part is really just the fine tuning, which we've talked about on a ton of videos. The main thing that we wanted to look at for this one was how do we combine it to get a really accurate SHO look. And I think you guys could see that even the black and white data before we combined them looked very much like typical monochrome S2, HA, and O3. So all this stuff is just the fine tuning. This is just up to the artistic taste. But what I really wanted to focus on for this video was really the combination process, just kind of proving that this would be a good method. And I think, you know, when we looked at the way we did the Ask Our Color Magic filters, that was a really nice, simple way to do it. I would still recommend that. I had an end goal in mind, and doing it that way allowed me to achieve it. This is a little bit more complicated, so maybe check out that video first if you want a nice simple way to combine them, but I think this is going to be a little bit more accurate and true to life. So kind of go through, you can see the process in Photoshop. We're using a little bit of topaz denoise and sharpening, but yeah, it came out really nice. And so here's the final result here. As you can see, this is what we came up with. And again, I didn't have a specific goal in mind, but I think this came out well. And so let me know if you guys have any questions or comments, if you are doing something differently. Again, this is still kind of a new frontier. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate you helping the channel grow, you know, coming up on 2,000 subscribers. And I'm hoping by the end of the year, I'm putting out a big lofty goal of maybe getting to 2,500. So thank you guys for all your support in terms of here. Get your contest entries in. There's only a couple days left as of the day that I'm launching this video. I'm looking forward to showing you guys that, and I hope you guys are having a great holiday season and are getting a couple clear nights out there. So until the next one, as always, clear skies.